Mm. Hey everyone, I am reading Running in Snow. It's a holiday novella by Renee, Regent, presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Story 1, Noelle's Promise. Chapter 1. I'm about to break my cardinal rule, and I'm terrified. There's only one thing that would make me even consider going to someone's house to celebrate Christmas. I'm in love. In 3 hours, I'll be on a plane, traveling to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've agreed to spend the holidays with my boyfriend, Logan, his daughter, Lily, and their extended family. Me, Noelle, who hasn't so much as eaten a candy cane or sent a Christmas card since I was 8 years old. Hell, I won't even watch holiday cartoons. I change the radio station the second Jingle Bells comes on. I've happily avoided this particular holiday for over 30 years, even though I was named for it. I was born on the winter solstice, and I guess my mother thought that was close enough. Right now, I'm in my Atlanta office wrapping up loose ends before I head to the airport. My coworkers are already deep in rivalry, drinking spiked punch and exchanging gifts. Today is December 23rd, the day of our annual office party, since we closed until after New Year's Eve. I've been able to successfully avoid the merriment, but even that fact hasn't eased my sense of dread. Time keeps ticking away, and I'll have to leave soon. I've just put away my last file when Daphne from Human Resources appears at my door. Hey, Noelle, Merry Christmas. I know you don't celebrate, but... She enters, shrugging. People never know how to respond to my lack of enthusiasm for their holiday traditions. I've heard the rumors myself. Is she Jewish? An atheist? I simply ignore it. Let them draw their own conclusions. Not that anyone would ever guess the real reason. I smile politely as Daphne places a small gift bag on my desk. It's shiny, red, covered in a white snowflake pattern, with curly green ribbons tying the handles together. She looks at me expectantly, as though she wants me to open it. I shake my head. Daphne, that's so sweet, but I don't participate in gift exchanges for personal reasons. This isn't an exchange. I just like giving gifts. Open it, she urges, standing her ground. Not only is Daphne the head of HR, she's the sister of our CEO, Mark Brayhill. It's probably not a good idea to insult her. So I pick up the tiny bag, I unfurl the green ribbon and find inside a small enameled pin, the kind you wear on a label or hat. It's a red bird, a cardinal, on a pine ball. Better, I guess, than a Santa or an angel pin. A prickle of apprehension runs through me as I hold the pin in my palm. There's no way Daphne would know the special meaning this particular bird has in my life, could she? Daphne clears her throat. It's not so Christmassy, is it? I thought you might like it. I don't want her to take my silence the wrong way, so I reassure her. Yes, I do. It's lovely, Daphne. Thank you. You're welcome. Now come and join us on the second floor. Jay from accounting has dressed as Santa, and all the ladies are taking selfies with him. Brushing my long auburn curls from my shoulder, I attach the pin to my jacket lapel and fish my purse from the drawer. Sorry to miss that, but I have a plane to catch this afternoon. Well, have a safe trip and happy holidays, however you choose to spend them. I wish her the same and shut my office door behind me. My promise to myself at 8 years old was to never participate in anything to do with Christmas ever again. And here I am accepting gifts and traveling toward a full-on family holiday celebration. Nothing else but true love would make me agree to this. My only hope is that I can get through it without ruining the holidays for everyone. If I can make it to New Year's Eve, I'll be fine. Breathe. Relax. That is the mantra I keep repeating to myself as I travel to Pittsburgh. I've never had a problem celebrating any other holidays, and New Year's Eve is my favorite. I love the anticipation, the hope of new dreams, second chances to make things right. The glitz, the glamour, and midnight kisses. This year it will be ultra special because Logan and I met last New Year's Eve at a party. So this will be our 1-year anniversary. I don't believe in love at first sight, but chemistry at first meeting is definitely possible. That's how it was with us. Wham, bang, hit you over the head attraction. And it wasn't just physical, though that was arguably the best part. We had an instant connection, a bond that felt familiar, comfortable, like putting on your favorite pajamas on a cold night. Our mutual affection grew from that right on, and we fell in love. I have plenty of time to think about the past year as I drive my rental car from the airport to my destination, Logan's hometown of Charmington in northwestern Pennsylvania. Falling in love with Logan Crawford included getting to know his daughter Lily, and I'm anxious to see her, too. Never wanted to be around children much. I was nervous at the start, but she and I got along well. At only 7 years old, she has the heart of an old soul. Her mother, Logan's first wife, died of cancer when Lily was 4. She needs a woman in her life, and despite my initial fears, I find a certain comfort and joy when the three of us are together. It adds a dimension my previous relationships lacked. Logan and Lily arrived in Charmington a few days ago, as soon as school had let out. I had work commitments, but to be truthful, I could have left sooner. As it was, I would be at Logan's parents' place for most of the week, which is the longest I've ever stayed in someone else's home. I grip the steering wheel and try to focus on the road and keep my thoughts on positive things, like seeing Logan. The overcast sky lends a gray pallor to the landscape as I navigate the mist-covered hills of western Pennsylvania. It reminds me of my hometown, a place I have tried earnestly to forget, when my parents were alive. We lived in a beat-up trailer in Walker's Bog, West Virginia. In the winter, it was bleak and dreary, just like now. Rolling hills covered in bare trees, their spiky branches reaching out as if for sustenance. I turn the radio volume up, but it doesn't drown out the sound of long-ago voices in my head. "Ask one more question, woman, and I'll knock you flat. Don't test me." It was my father's voice, slurred thick from alcohol, and then my mother's yelling, pleading, the insults would mutter under her breath. They were locked in a tug-of-war for control over the tiny, cluttered structure we lived in. My father usually won. I did my best to go unnoticed and stay out of his way. I noticed a sign proclaiming the turn-off for Charmington, and I pick up my phone from the passenger seat. I hit the button for Logan's number and wait for his deep, honey-sweet voice to soothe my ears. "Hello, darling." He's lived in the South for many years, so he's picked up some of the dialect. Having lived in Atlanta most of my adult life, I'm used to it, but I still get a thrill hearing his voice. "Hi, sweetie. I should be there soon. Do you need anything?" "No, just your sweet self. I already explained to my folks about your, preferences." A twinge of guilt makes me grimace. "Thanks. I hope they don't think I'm a nut or rude." "No, not at all. I just told them you don't celebrate, but you're looking forward to meeting them." Which was true. "Great. How's Lily?" "Wound up. Right now she's eating cookies and trying to decide which board game we're going to play tonight." We say goodbye, and as I hang up, I think maybe hanging out with a nice, normal family won't be as difficult as I feared. So why is my stomach in knots? Must be the airport food. Chapter 2. The darkened sky is spitting snowflakes when I arrive at Logan's parents' house. They swirl to the ground slowly in a half-hearted way, and the thought of getting snowed in here causes my heart to thump. Logan has assured me Pennsylvanians are more adept than Georgians at dealing with snowfall. But really, who isn't? The driveway is steep, so I park the rental car on the street. Seeing him hurry down the stairs to meet me is the best distraction I could have from my weather-related fears. And when he reaches me, I fall into his arms. His beard pleasantly scratches my cheek, and he gives me a chaste kiss for the benefit of the faces watching from the window. "More of that later when we're alone," he whispers in my ear. I cling to that thought like a life preserver. I look back at the house as Logan gets my luggage from the trunk of the car. It's an older but well-kept brick home with a sloping yard to the street. The entire neighborhood is something of a throwback, with huge trees, picket fences, and narrow sidewalks. Any television show from the 50s could have been filmed here. It's all the more charming with multicolored holiday lights adorning every house. Every last house. A tingle crawls up my skin. This neighborhood is like Holiday Central. Logan takes my suitcase, and I follow him up to the porch, which is adorned with scarlet ribbons and pine boughs. I can't imagine what the house looks like inside. A woman throws open the door, her arms outstretched. "Noelle, welcome!" His mother, Sandra, hugs me and ushers me inside. I'm greeted by Lily, who squeals and hugs me. Her familiar touch keeps me from being rattled by the commotion of being introduced to everyone. There's a group of assorted relatives of all ages in the living room, craning their necks to see, and I hear pots and drawers banging in the kitchen somewhere. The scent of cinnamon is heavy in the air, but my mouth doesn't water. I stifle a gag and hope my nose will adjust so I can ignore it. All these years, and I still can't tolerate certain holiday aromas. Logan takes my suitcase to the den, and Sandra leads me to the kitchen. An hour later, fortified by a cup of spiked cranberry juice, I could not stomach the mulled cider. I began to relax. I have no problem talking to people. In fact, I'm a whiz at networking in business situations, but all my life I've managed to avoid doing so around the holidays, preferring to hibernate, so to speak, and emerge in time for the new year. So I'm winging it this time, and though Logan has always been respectful of my preference, I see by his smile that he is pleased I'm giving it a try. I've never explained the reason for my holiday celebration at abstinence, and he was never pressed. We are taking this one step at a time. So, what's it like in Atlanta? This question comes from Logan's sister, Diane. Everyone is calling her Dee, as does her husband Gary, who leans over her to interrupt before I can answer. "Don't go getting ideas about moving south, Dee. Nothing but rednecks down there." Dee brushes him off with a wave of her hand. "Ignore him. I hear they're filming like crazy in Georgia, and not just that zombie show." We discuss that and more, and Gary grumbles something about refilling his drink. I'm sensing some turmoil between these two, and I politely ignore it. As a newcomer, I'm in no position to judge, nor do I want to. When Sandra enters the room to announce dinner is finally ready, their relief is audible as everyone cheers. It was worth the wait. There's an impressive spread on the dining table. Sandwiches, sausage balls, dips, veggies, a crock pot of chili, and a side table packed with desserts. This is the one part of the holidays I truly have missed. Not that we ever had this much food laid out in our house when I was young. Back then it was saltine crackers, cheese, and a casserole. But most times it was enough. I understand the breaking of bread together is a common holiday tradition all over the world, and for good reason. Eating together is a sacred thing, and it is meant to be enjoyed. After dinner, a few of the guests leave, mostly neighbors who promise to stop in again. Diane and Gary go, taking their 2 children who had been playing with Lily. Their departure prompts her to get out a board game, and Logan, his parents, and I play until Lily's eyes no longer remain open. Later, when the house is dark, Logan joins me in the den on the pull-out sofa. We sip some sherry and watch the fire die. I rest my head on his chest so his voice rumbles in my ear as he talks, low and sweet. "You made it through your first night unscathed." "Yes, I did. Thank you." He looks down at my face, his eyes dark in the muted light. They're expressive eyes. I swear the man should not play poker. "Why are you thanking me? I didn't do anything special." I turn and kiss him, a slow, reverent kiss meant to convey what I'm feeling. "That is what I'm thanking you for, not making a big deal about how I feel about the holidays." "Ah," he is silent for a while. No sound in the room but the crackling and shifting of the logs. Then he takes a breath, hesitating before asking, "Are you ever going to tell me about it?" The word leaves my lips before I can think. "No." How can I tell him? Why should I tell him? He's looking at me with those expressive eyes searching mine, trying to reason me out like some sort of puzzle. But it's something even I can't figure out, so I tell him. Maybe someday. He's not satisfied. I can tell. He's worried, but he kisses me goodnight and goes upstairs to sleep. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee wakes me. The house is quiet, and weak sunlight sneaks between the curtains. It's barely past dawn, my usual time to get up, so I push the sofa back together and head to the kitchen. "Morning. Sleep well?" Logan's father Clint asked. He's a handsome man, an older version of his son, with thinning gray hair and a slight paunch. But otherwise, he's in great shape. He has the same expressive bright eyes, but with a few more creases of the sides. He hands me a steaming mug of coffee, which I bring immediately to my lips. After the first sip, I feel human enough to respond. Thanks.